Welcome to the food tour. My name is Simon. I'm going to be around Copenhagen today for the next 4 hours or so. We're going to be trying a bunch of different kinds of Danish food. Some of them also include some Nordic elements as well. Basically, a general theme for the tour is newer versions of older dishes. Because a lot of the places we'll be visiting have basically taken very old recipes from items, and they've kind of updated them for the modern palate. Something else that's very important on our tour is sustainability and organic food. Most of our suppliers use anywhere between 60 to 100% organic ingredients. And then, of course, a lot of it is also sourced locally, ideally within 30 to 50 kilometers of the place that the food is being sold. Everything I've just mentioned now is basically something that also appears in what's called the New Nordic Food Manifesto, which is a document that a number of Nordic gourmet chefs created a little over 10 years ago in order to basically start what they call the New Nordic Food Movement. They wanted to have Nordic chefs think more about what they can do with our own food heritage and our own food culture and the ingredients we have here in the Nordic countries. So this market we're at here is called Torvehallerne, which roughly translates to the market halls in English. So basically, Torvehallerne here is Copenhagen's first successful covered food market. Basically, there wasn't the kind of interest in food back then that we have in Copenhagen now. And much of that interest in food can be attributed to the New Nordic Cuisine movement. But basically, this market here is a place where it's not somewhere Copenhageners go to shop every single day. It's a little too expensive for that for most people. But it is somewhere you go when you need very good, high-quality ingredients for that one special dinner you're going to do. So, welcome to our first stop. This is Arla Unica. Arla is a big Danish dairy company that does a lot of business in not only Denmark, but the other Nordic countries as well, and the rest of the world too, for that matter. This store here is kind of special. What they do here is they kind of showcase the finest of Danish cheese making. In fact, a lot of these cheeses were originally designed for the menus of gourmet restaurants. But then when this market opened, Arla decided that perhaps there would be an interest in something like this among the wider public. So they opened the store, and then they decided to see how it went. And actually, it's been a great success. They've been here ever since. So welcome to Wad. Wad is our second stop on the tour. Wad is a name that kind of has two meanings in this case. The first one is stir, like mixing things in a bowl. And the other one is touch, like being emotionally touched. Basically what they do here is they have a new Nordic take on something very classically Danish, namely hotdogs or spread salads. So basically they are mayo-based spreads that are designed to go on top of rye bread. And they have all kinds of different spread salads here. Some feature seafood, some feature meat. They also have vegan versions as well. And then they have a bakery they like to use in order to get their rye bread. Normally, you don't necessarily toast rye bread in order to enjoy it with a spread salad, but these guys like doing that just because they think it pairs well. We're going to be doing our third stop now. This is a little intermediate stop, if you will. We're going to try some honey from Danish urban beekeepers. Now, this honey is made by a company which is called Byby, which means city bee. So basically they have apiaries all over Copenhagen, and one of their apiaries is located in kind of a special place because it is located in the botanical gardens of Copenhagen. And now what makes the honey there unique is that you have flowers from all over the world growing next to each other, which would never naturally grow next to each other in the wild. And therefore you end up with this kind of uniquely floral honey that's very unusual for Danish honey. But it's this one here, the name Botanisk Have means botanical gardens, and it works well for certain things. For example, it's quite good on white bread, and it also works well as a sweetener in tea. However, the other honey I have here, which is something we give guests so they have something to compare with, this one is called Copenhagen, which means Copenhagen in Danish, and this one combines honey from different apiaries all over the city. This one is much more typically Danish, so it has slightly darker flavor notes, it's got more lavender in it, and it works more for like dark bread or things like honey cakes, for example. So welcome to Omens. Omens is our fourth stop here on the tour. Omens is known for specializing in high-end smørrebrød, which is the Danish open-faced sandwich. So the piece that kind of made them famous is their chicken salad, and what they did with that one is they took the skin from the chicken that they used, and then they deep-fried it and crushed it and turned it into a crumble, which they added on top. And then to add extra crispiness, they also took crispy apples and celeriac as well, and mixed that into the chicken salad too, and then added a very crispy piece of gin lettuce. and it just makes for a much more texturally interesting experience when you're eating a chicken salad like that. And little combinations like those over time made them very famous. So, welcome to Nordic, or Nordic Brewery in English. This is our 5th stop on the tour. This place is basically a brewery that started out as a microbrewery a few years back, and now they've become what's known as a house brewery, which is the intermediate stage between a microbrewery and a big industrial brewery. You can find the beer from this place in a lot of different locations around Copenhagen: cafes, restaurants, bars, you name it. And yeah, you can see over here in the background, you have the tanks. This is where everything was originally brewed. And basically, this is where they continue to experiment and come up with new beer styles. And they do different things throughout the year. For example, they always have a lineup of Christmas beers every year. And some of the beers they have on their menu right now are actually derived from those Christmas beers as well. So everything kind of always leads to something new and exciting. This is the 6th stop on our tour. So basically this stop here is where we have fully organic hot dogs. Everything they serve here is 100% organic. They have the sausages made for them by one of Denmark's top-end gourmet sausage makers. The bread is made for them. It's a full grain bread. They have the ketchup, the mustard, everything made exclusively for them. And when we come here, guests basically have full reign of the menu, so they can pick whatever they like. They have a whole bunch of different kinds of sausages. There's a classic pork sausage, which is also the most popular one they do. There's one that features cheese, and when you have a hot dog, it's pretty much what it looks like here. So you've got the sausage, and then you've got ketchup, mustard, and remoulade, which is a Danish tartar sauce on top. You've got fried onions, raw onions, and pickled cucumber. And that is probably the most classic combo for any kind of Danish hot dog. Smørrebrød, or Simon candies in English. This is our 7th stop on the tour. These are one of the oldest candy makers in Denmark. They've been around since 1891. So that means they have a little over 130 years of experience. And fun fact, they are also a supplier to the Danish royal family. The Queen is very fond of their candies. So this is the shop of Simon candies. Looks pretty much the same thing it did back when they opened in 1891. So over here you can see the whole lineup of candies that they have. You've got them sorted by their different flavor types. So you've got licorice on top, you've got fruity flavors, and you've got things like caramel and salt caramel, ginger and things like that on one shelf. You've got like various kinds of more unusual flavors like passion fruit and pina colada down here on the lower shelf as well. And the shop actually also offers sugar-free candies for those who need those. They use a natural plant product in order to make up the body of the candy, and then they sweeten it using stevia. So, welcome to Smørrebrød Organic. This is our final stop on the food tour. Smørrebrød is a Danish chocolate maker that's native to Fyn, the central island of Denmark. Their most famous one is their amber chocolate, which they're using in this little sample here. This is an almond that's been covered in the amber chocolate, which is a caramelized white chocolate. It has won numerous Best European Chocolate Awards, so they are understandably quite proud of that. And they have a bunch of different versions of this sort of product that I've heard right here. Now, the other thing they're also getting quite well known for are these. This is a Danish flødebolle or cream puff. And then traditionally you would have a biscuit or a wafer at the bottom, but here it is, of course, marzipan, because we're at Smørrebrød. They're always trying out new things, making new kinds of flavor combinations. You can still get the marzipan that they originally got famous for as well. And yeah, it makes for great gifts for whoever you might want to buy some from. So thank you so much for joining us, and please enjoy Danish food if you find yourself trying some.